Is it worth buying an entire booster box display for Altered TCG? I'm going to start by first giving you my framework for thinking about purchasing Altered boxes. Second, I'm going to open an entire box here of Altered Kickstarter Edition, and I'll give you the breakdown of everything that I open from it. For the framework of this conversation, I'm assuming that you already know you like Altered and that you want to play the game. If you aren't sure yet, today is release day, so go grab a couple of starter decks and give the game a try. You like the game, you want to play it more, and you're wondering, should I buy a booster box of this? Here's the question I want you to ask yourself for your framework of deciding yes or no. And that question is, would you enjoy opening a booster box of Altered even if the cards that you get inside of it have little to no monetary value? Now, the reason I start with that question is TCG players are often calculating in their head, will the singles that I open from this box be worth more or equal to the amount that I paid for it? For Altered, nobody really has any idea what these cards are going to be worth in the next week, next month, next 6 months. But if you start from a framework of analyzing the cost of the box versus the amount of hours and amount of fun you're going to have with it, instead of how much the cards within the box will be worth, you're going to have a good time no matter what you open in the box. Then, if you do hit some valuable cards, it's just going to be that much more fun. You and a friend could get 20 plus hours of entertainment from just one box if you want to. Is that worth the price of a box for you? If you get 8 people together to draft for $15 a person for 3 to 4 hours of entertainment, is it worth it? And the same thing here for Altered is true as it is for many TCGs. You really don't need a lot of cards to have a great time for a long time. So is it worth getting a box? Well, if you want to play with it and you're going to take your time to use the packs, absolutely. The next question then is, well, which box should you get? Should you get a Kickstarter box or should you get a regular box? And while Kickstarter boxes, they're going to offer you more, they also cost more, right? So Kickstarter boxes, they have a higher drop rate for unique cards, for foils. They have foil heroes in the packs, alternate art cards and uniques, and they got an extra pack per box. You see these ones are 37. These ones are 36. There's an extra card per pack, right? And you have the chance of getting the golden booster, right? The golden booster where it's got a bunch of unique cards in it and like 4 unique foilers. Now your regular box will cost less, especially if Kickstarter boxes start to climb in price more, but it's honestly going to be a much better buy if you aren't that excited about alternate arts and foil heroes or money's tight. There's nothing wrong with getting these. It's definitely a legitimate choice. So let's go ahead. We're going to open up a box here of Kickstarter edition for Altered Beyond the Gates. We got some really cool looking packs in there, and there are 37 packs in this box, right? A regular box has 36. These ones have 37. Again, there's a bonus pack in here, 13 cards per pack. And we'll go through this. I'll show you the hit rates. I'm going to show you all the different slots that you can get. I'm going to be filming it in a little bit of a different way than you might see on some different spaces. And that is because, I'll tell you in just a second, but first what I'm going to do in these packs is I'm going to take the token. There's always a token slot in the back. And I'm just going to pull that out and set it on the side. And then I'm going to take the pack, I'm going to put it over here. Here we're starting off with Akesha and Taru. And again, these are foil cards at the top of the pack. The hero, in the Kickstarter version, you get a foil hero in every pack, which is really cool. They look really good. See if I can get some of that foiling on there for you. Very, very cool. Now, the reason that I'm having the cards up here is because I am going to be doing some live breaks for this game. Here we move into the common slot, all the ones with the black borders around the edge. And so for these live breaks, I want to have that QR code that's in the bottom right covered so that we can do a live break and nobody can sneak any cards from anybody before they have a chance to actually scan it, the person who is supposed to own the card. So we're going to do it like this. And here we go. We move from the commons into the rares. You can tell it's a rare because it has that blue mark at the top above their name, and then also it's a borderless card, which I love, absolutely love. Borderless cards, there should be more borderless cards in more games. Kitson's kind of cool there. Ooh, we have something. Oh, we have something in the back here that's going to be really exciting. We've got Hua Mulan. Look at this. Very cool. Now here we have a big shiny coming. Big shiny. Look at this Bravos Tracer. Wow. Okay, so we have a shiny, unique. This card, you know it's unique because it has that gold symbol at the top and it's borderless. And so here in the Kickstarter edition, another thing you can get is they have some alternate art uniques, and those alternate art uniques are foiled in the packs. That's not normal. You're not going to find that in the non-Kickstarter boxes. So pretty fun. This is the first one I've actually opened that is an alternate art foil unique. Bravos Tracer. Very cool. Has a fun ability. If you're new to Altered, when I say that the card is unique, I mean that it is unique. There's only one copy with this specific combination of abilities and stats in the world. So another option that you have for getting a box or getting part of a box is I like to offer something that I call faction breaks. And so what a faction break is it's very, very similar to a team break, what a team break would be for sports cards. And what that means is what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up an entire box or an entire case, depending on what people want to do. And then from that box or case, the person who purchases the Axiom part of the break is going to get all of the Axiom cards. Or whoever purchases the Bravos faction gets all the Bravos cards. Common, rares, uniques, tokens, all of those cards. And the reason I wanted to do this is I know there's going to be a group of people who decide they really, really like one faction, and that's kind of the only faction that they want to get or collect things for, and they want to find some cool new uniques for it. And so by doing this, it's a way where people can go through a larger amount of packs, pay less, right? So instead of paying for a whole case, you're really only paying for about one box, but then you get from the entire case all of the Muna cards or all of the Ortis cards or whatever the faction is that you are looking for. Man, these are just cool looking cards. The more I look at these cards, the more I enjoy them. Now you're going to see as we go through this, unless we get a really cool gold pack, not every card is not every faction is necessarily even going to get a unique card. So if you can, instead of just buying one box, hoping you get that unique card for your faction, if you can do a whole case break, your odds of actually getting cards for the faction that you want are much higher. Here we go with the Mali. Look at him sneaking around with Axiom there. These rares, of course, are really cool. I love how the rares, they come in two different factions. It's an interesting way of spreading characters about, but oh my goodness, look at that. That I was not expecting. We got one of the promos in here. It's the 2024 promo. Again, another thing that you can get in the Kickstarter boxes. These are not super common though, but again, if you want to try and chase these and there's a specific faction that you'd like to try and get one for, maybe doing a case faction break would be a nice way to do it. This one, of course, if this was a break, whoever got Lyra, purchased Lyra, would have gotten this promo card. Again, I put the token there on the side just because for doing this live, there's going to be the foiler cards in that token slot, and those are very difficult to cover and hide the QR code in the middle. So what I would do is I'll just pull them off at the side first, and then at the end of the break, just pass them out to all the different factions. And of course, if it's for a case break, then it's going to be a pretty good split for everybody, making sure they get some unique foilers and whatnot here. But man, I love the art. Here we go, Anubis. Here's one of the heroes I would love to see a unique card for. I am definitely hoping to see some more uniques. I'd love to see a Robin Hood. There's a bunch of characters that would be more, that are more exciting to me than others. Unfortunately, to this point, at least for me in collecting, I've only kind of found unique characters that aren't really the top ones for me. So we're digging a little bit, hoping to see some more excitement. And then probably what I would do as well for these live breaks is, as you can see, it can take quite a long time to go through the commons. There are a lot of commons in every pack, so often we'll probably skip right to the rares. Nice little Mowgli there. Paint Prison. Oh, you wouldn't want to get stuck in that. Celestial Blast. Big boom there. Followed by a Brass Bug Hub. Last card of the pack. Good shout out to different places. That's why you put a token at the back of the pack so that your cards don't get nicked, your valuable cards. Star Wars Unlimited should start doing that. Anyways, so we'd have this Teja Naru there, and then we'd just kind of take all the commons. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 commons in this pack. Sometimes you get more rares or less rares in one of your packs for Altered. And then you can take a look here at the more exciting, rare, and hopefully unique pieces. And then even if you open an entire case, you did a case break for this game, you are not going to get enough of the rare cards for you to have a play set for your faction, for any faction. Because there are a ton, an absolute ton of different rare cards in this game. That cool Fen and Crowbar. I do love seeing these foil cards. Red here, Red. That's one of the characters I'd like to see a unique for. I think would be really cool. Red and Robin Hood. Those are the two of many that I'm thinking about. There's a lot actually, because man, there are just a ton of different characters in here, and they're cool. They're very, very cool. I'd like to see a unique Kraken as well. I think that I've hidden the QR code enough to show you how I'll do this for the live streams. So let's remove this black box so you get a better view of these cards, since I will have already scanned them by the time you're watching this. So you're an oddball. And we'll do a little bit of a skip here through all these commons. There's so many cool commons, but there are also a lot of other pack opening videos where you can go check those out. Here is where the real excitement is. He's got to be a cool unique as well. It's fun with the uniques and the rares, how they change the art from rarity to rarity. The common version of a card has just a little bit less detail in it. Oh man, keep that token in there. Sad day for the token. Anyways, the common version of a card has a little bit less going on the card, and in the rare versions, the art is developed a little bit more. And then on the unique ones, boom, it's like all in full art, just glory awesomeness. Or for some of them, like Ratatoskr, they just kind of change the seasons going on around it. You have spring, summer, and fall. A lot of cool things. Now this pack only had 3 rares, so sometimes you only get 3, sometimes you're getting 4. Every pack is a little bit different. At the end, we'll do a quick check to see how many unique foilers and all that stuff we got. Don't worry, we'll take a look at that. I'll give you some numbers for everything. Shenlong, very cool. Another one of those alternate art cards here for the Kickstarter. Foil unique of that is going to be very cool. But look at that, we got double rare Shenlong right next to each other. One from each different faction, one from Lyra, one from Braavos. That's fun. Alice sneaking around Wonderland, of course, somewhere here. And we do have a unique in the back. Our second one, and it is the Tooth Fairy. Tooth Fairy costs 3 from hand and from reserve. We've got 0, 2, 2 for our stat numbers there. And then if you control 1 or more landmarks, I gain 2 boosts. When I leave the expedition zone, Sabotage. Now I should say about uniques, again, they are unique. There's only 1 copy of this in the world, which is really fun. At the same time though, there are a lot of uniques out there. So it's just because it's unique doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the best one or the one that you're going to want to use in your deck. It should also note that you can only use 3 in a deck. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see, again, where the value kind of lands on uniques, how popular they become. Is it going to be like Keyforge, where people are just really willing to pay a ton of money for a certain version of a unique, a certain card, or is it going to be kind of, they all just kind of settle down at a nice I don't know, lower price, higher price, it's going to be really interesting to watch. And, you know, at this point, I just wouldn't get too hyped or concerned or worried about it. Again, just have some fun, get some packs to just play, enjoy the game for a while. I wouldn't do any of the crazy speculating on cards because, well, you know, again, there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of different uniques, and you know, it's going to take some time before you have official play and whatnot to really see and really understand what's going to be the best ones. And, you know, you have to ask yourself, how much is it worth paying for one specific card to add to your deck that might give you a 0.05% increased chance of winning, you know? For me, it's more just about the fun of having something different, about having something unique, and of course having something that looks cool. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. And again, I think if you just look at Altered, at least here at the start, if you're going to be opening packs, you just look at it for the fun of playing a game. Like, there's no way you lose, or there's no way you feel bad about the value that you get if you're expecting it just as a play experience, because you can have a ton of fun. I've already opened, looks like a third of the box here, and if I was trying to get the absolute most value from this, look at this cool gatekeeper, I would slow way, way down. I would stop at 7 packs for me, and then I guess 7 packs for the person I'm playing with. And we could each create a sealed deck from that pool. You get to use 3 different factions and create a 30-card deck, which is pretty fun. And it's unique because you're actually mixing all the factions together. You get to see some wild interactions you wouldn't necessarily, or you wouldn't get to see in your constructed decks. And you can have a lot of fun with that. And you don't have to even open more packs. You can just switch your factions around, try some different things. You can get a good couple of hours just looking through the packs, reading through the different cards, because there's a lot of different cards again in here between the rares and commons. And you can have some fun playing those games. Then you can just add a couple packs to your pool, or you can each open another 7 packs and try a different game like that. Then you can mix your pools together. There's so much you can do, and you can really take your time enjoying this. And I think I think a lot of people underestimate the value of that. Ooh, I always like this one. I gotta just move it so you can see him. He's always been a fun one for me. I think people really underestimate just the value that you can get from kind of slow rolling your games and taking your time. Not every TCG has to be a super competitive. I gotta find all the best cards immediately. You know, you can just have, I think, sometimes even more fun taking your time with something like this, enjoying your Athena, letting Athena here just be the best card you have for a while. This is a pretty cool one. I've always liked Athena. Opening it, playing it is a fun one. But you can just sit and enjoy that. And then as you're doing that, every pack you open feels like a real bonus to the game. Because if you don't have a huge card pool to start from, and you add a pack to it, like, it can change a lot, right? It can change a lot about what you can and can't do. If you get your first Kybera, you know, it just changes your whole deck. It's just one way that you can try to get the most value from the cards that you purchase. And there we go. We got Alice, the unique Alice here, 3 and 3 to play. She's got a 3/2/4 for her racing abilities. And she says, when I leave the expedition zone, you may pay 1. If you do, sabotage. And then from your reserve, you can discard it to get after you, which is a very, very fun ability, forcing your opponent to make their decisions and turns first so you can react to them and respond. Now, I knew that I opened an Alice before, so I wanted to go back here. Look at this rare version. Check out how the art has changed in it. Obviously, the biggest thing is you can see the coloring on the side there. You can also see that the creature has developed in a way. He's a little bit bigger here, at least on his stomach, not curled up in that one. We are hoping, though, that we can find one of those golden packs. Very rare, very hard to get. Have not seen one yet myself, but we've seen a lot of cool looking cards here. We'll keep on digging, see if Lady Luck can help us out today. Trickster's very cool. I will at the end. I'll count out how many rares we get, and I'll try and do a little count to see how much is split amongst the different factions as well. I'm curious to see if we get a pretty even split or if it feels kind of all over the place. It'd be fun to see that. And so even just from one box, so you do get a lot of these heroes. There's going to be probably some duplication on those. So again, if you're looking for one of those faction breaks, even at just one box, you're going to get a good amount of those. You will not be lacking. The Hatter is fun. Sakara Brew. There we go. And ooh, a little Ortis Trooper, huh? The rare version of the Ortis Trooper. I'll be honest with you, even as I am opening this box here, like, I am very, very tempted to just stop opening it and to pause and to go back and look through all those cards that I've had and to sit and enjoy them. It's, you know, if you don't know, I open a lot of packs on this channel for different games. I do a lot for Flesh and Blood and Star Wars, and I've done Magic and different things in the past. But this one, I'm going to be honest, this is the game where I have had the most temptation to go slow. The most temptation to want to stop, to want to read every single ability in it, and to just pause with 7 packs and play like a sealed version of it. And part of that, I think, is just because of the amount of variety in cards. Again, the way that the rares work and how they're going in one faction and then a different faction. Here, this is cool. Here's that Bravos Tracer in a rare. Let's see if I can go back and find that foil unique. We can compare it. Take a look at that. The unique version has an entire extra person in the back. And you can see the stat changes there from the rare version here to the unique version. Anyways, this game just feels like a game full. Another Athena, where it, I don't know, to me it feels good. It actually feels like a positive thing to be playing without full play sets of all the commons and all the rares. And, you know, maybe that's just my personality because, you know, I do kind of like that style of play for all games. I had a lot of fun going to the world premiere for Rosetta for Flesh and Blood and just playing sealed events. Like, I love sealed, I love draft, I love limited environments. I love even doing kind of in a constructed environment where everybody gets a certain amount of packs, and then you play a bunch of games like kind of a tournament that week, and then the next week everybody gets to add a couple of packs to their pool, try something, you know, a little bit different. I love that kind of gameplay. I love that style. I kind of feel like, you know, in a way, TCGs were designed with that in mind, that you weren't going to have everything every time you played. And that is part of the fun, figuring things out. Now this guy, look at that. He doesn't have any stats there. We got the 000, except when you play him. He gains a boost, 1 boost for each card in each player's reserve. Very interesting. So he can come in as a 4/4 if you time things correctly. Son of Yggdrasil. He's interesting. Look at that big guy. A lot of text on that one. I like the gigantic cards. Nothing like slamming down something that covers both sides of the board. Quetzalcoatl. Oh man. Again, I'm looking at them. I want to stop. I want to stop and read them. But we're going to keep going. We're not going to be here all day looking at this very, very cool box. Now, there is the non-promo version of it. Very, very cool, though, in foil as well. Sneak ahead to our rares. The Cylinder. Whoa, big sliding here from Mechanical Training. Lyra Scald. And the Ortis Carrier. There you go. That's pretty cool. Flying boat thing. I don't know what's going on there, but I like it. I like it. I hope someday. I think I would like this for all the TCGs that I play. I would love to see books. Short stories and little things are fine, but really, you know, reading a book, watching a full movie or series, that's the kind of stuff that I love to really get me into the world of the game. Now we're almost 2/3 of the way through this, and we still have only seen 3 uniques. We should have a couple of more uniques coming our way in the not too distant future. We'll see what we can get here. There we go. Talk about uniques. Mowgli, he is a Druid 2/2. We got our stats 3/1/2 on the side, and his play is resupply. Check that one out. You can also discard him from your reserve so that up to 1 target character with hand cost 3 or less other than me gains anchored. Sorry again if you can't read the full ability on every card at the bottom because of that bar that I have in the way. Again, this is because I am testing this for live streams and I want people to be able to see that, you know, we do a live stream and we open packs for you. We're going to be able to hide all of the QR codes so that everybody who gets something from that can actually get the cards that they want, not just in their physical version, but they're going to have their digital copies protected as well. Look at that Kodama. He's one of the alternate art cards, I believe. Lyra version there. Baku, Studious Disciple. My goodness, he looks silly. With an attorney. We got attorneys in this game. Uh-oh. Watch out, everybody. We're going down our last side here. Getting here some more of that duplication in that hero slot. Like I told you about. Skip ahead to our rares. Axiom Salvager. Ogun. He's a fun one. I really like actually the way that his art progresses from common to rare is very cool. I don't think I've seen, or I don't have a unique one, but I do like the way that his art progresses on the card. I think I like it for most of them, but you know, some of them just shine out, stick out a little bit more than others. Scrambler here. Frankenstein. We like Frankenstein, don't we? He's our friend. Spycraft, Verdant back. And oh my goodness, some of these, like, you just gotta pause, slow down to read the name right. Kadigiran Mage Dancer. He's gotta have a really cool looking unique card. Ooh, just a few packs left. We're running out of time to find our unique, sorry, not unique, golden booster. Golden booster that contains many unique cards. We're running out of time. But again, very rare on those. You're not going to get them very often. Definitely not in every box or even every case. But I was still surprised that we got one of those promos here in this box. I guess I picked a good box. I chose one of the ones that had some damage on it because, well, you know, not everything was sent perfectly. Let's just put it that way. We won't get into too many details. This one here, look at this. So this one pack has 5 different rares in it. That's fun. Again, these Kickstarter packs, they do have extra slot in it. So you're going to get more rares in these packs than you will in the normal ones. They also have a higher rate for that kind of card between the rares and the commons being a rare and not just a common card. Very cool here. Tanuki, he's got to be fun. Is unique. I love Ordis. This guy has turned his colors though. They're going with Muna. Still, he's still okay. Ooh, look at that one. That is a cool card. I bet that would be a very cool looking playmat, actually. Can't wait to see what other kind of playmats that come out here for Altered. Though, then I will just be tempted to get them. So hopefully they don't come out with too many cool ones. Just, you know, for the sake of, you know, we don't want the madness to get too mad. We don't want to do that. And obviously we're not going to try and open a playset here because playsets are impossible to get with all those super cool uniques. Gian, the Assembly Overseer. Here, he's got 2 from your hand, 2 from reserve. We've got 2, 3, and a 0. Now this one, he only gets to draw a card when you play him from reserve. He has a second ability where you can discard him from your reserve instead to activate the on-play triggers of a target permanent you control. Now I can imagine there are some times where that might be better than drawing the card. And of course, you don't have to pay anything to do it. Okay, we're down to our last 5 packs. And so far we have opened 5 unique cards. We're going to see if we can get to number 6. We would really love to see 6 unique cards in this box. 5 would be a little less than our hoped number. I'm not sure though if that promo kind of will take away though a unique from us. We're just going to have to see here. 3 Little Pigs. I have gotten that one as a unique. Wasn't my top one, at least from a, you know, art theme style. Wasn't my top one. I'm a little happier with the Tooth Fairy than I was with the 3 Little Pigs. But whoa, my goodness, what? Here we go. Here it is, everybody. You waited this long. It is the top card here of the pack. It is unique, and that means that I believe this is a golden pack. Let's check it out. I will check. Yep, the card. Okay, yep, the card I pulled from the back was a unique foiler. So let me grab, I'm going to grab a couple more of those off. You can see them there. Ooh, okay. Okay, so we got 4 unique foilers. Very cool. Okay, golden pack. We're going to read these, have some fun. You tell me in the comments below which ones are going to be the best ones, which ones are the worst. But we have Ada Lovelace here. She costs 2 and 2 from both places. You got 2, 3, 1 in her stats. And from hand, played from hand, you may put a card from your hand in reserve. If it's a spell, she gains 1 boost. Very nice. You can also discard her from reserve, and the next spell you play this turn loses fleeting. Ooh, okay, very fun. Let's get the next one. Oof, Axiom Salvager. Very cool, 2/2 for cost. He's got a 2/1/2. And no matter where you play him from, if you control 2 or more boosted characters, you get to resupply. I like that. And if you play him from hand, he gains a boost. So it's a little bit easier for him to trigger his ability. If you're playing him from hand, you're already starting with a boost. Our favorite robot character from the set, 2/2 cost, 1/2/2. In trying to control the race, whenever you play it from hand, you could pay 1 if you do draw a card, and when I go to the reserve from your hand, you may play me for free, and I gain a sleep. Interesting. I like the theme there. I like the asleep theme there. It's kind of fun, the cards. They're really themed well. But ooh, look at Kuat the Dissenter. That is a cool looking mage. Look at this guy. Oh, he's a little beefy here. 4/3 for 3/5/5. And you play him from your hand, and he's going to be sabotaging. We like sabotaging, don't we? And at dusk, you have to sacrifice a character in my expedition. Oh, interesting. So you're getting some good power there, but you got a little bit of a drawback, so you do not want to be playing him alone. Here's Mr. Flamel. Flamel. You choose how you pronounce it. 4/3 with a 4/2/4 on the side. You may return a spell from your reserve to your hand. Very cool. When you play a spell, you may discard a card from your reserve. If you do, resupply. Okay, so he's going to be having some magical fun here with spells. And interesting. Very, very interesting. You look at this Alchemist. These uniques, they just look very, very cool. Here, he's pretty cheap. He's a 2/1. He's only going to be doing a 2/2 though, and trying to take over some places. If you play him from hand and you control 1 or more landmarks, create an Ordis Recruit 1/1/1 soldier token in your companion expedition. Okay, right? So this guy, he's not in his original house. He's hanging out in Ordis here. And you can also discard him. Okay, this is cool. Discard him from your reserve, and you can create an Ordis Recruit. Look at that. 1/1 in the companion expedition. Okay, very fun. I like seeing the uniques that can kind of go anywhere. Lady of the Lake. That one's cool. Your characters have the playability from the reserve. I gain 1 boost. Okay, very cool if you're doing lots of characters going in. Forgot to say she costs 3/2. She's very good in the water, which makes sense as Lady of the Lake with 4 there. You can also just get rid of her from your reserve, and the next character you play this turn loses fleeting. Okay, that's fun. That's fun. I like that one. Dorothy Gale, the Citizen, sneak in here in Luna. Costs 5 to play from your hand. There's got to be a really good hand ability below, and only 2 from reserve. 2 from reserve is pretty good for those stats. Whenever you play her, She says target character gains 1 boost. If you play her from hand, here we're going to find out why she costs so much. You may put a card from your hand in reserve. If it's a spell, you may send to reserve target character with hand cost 4 or more. Talk about that kind of magic. What a way to remove something from the other side of the table and sneak out a win on an expedition, especially if you've been saying your go. Oh man, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Then we've got Baku here, an Axiom version 1, 5/4 to play, 3/3/1. And when you play him, you may sacrifice a character or a permanent. If you do, create a brass bug. We like creating brass bugs, right? In each of your expeditions. There you go. Why not? He also has the on play from the reserve. If you control 2 or more landmarks, target opponent discards a card from their hand. That's interesting. He has a bonus ability of being played from the reserve, but he actually costs less being played from the reserve. That's not something you see too often, and there we go. Nice. This one, you know, it's an alternate art because it is shiny. Look at Loki, the last unique in this pack. Wow, that's 10. He costs 7 and 6. He's hanging out in Muna here, and he's got 7, 7, 6 for his powers are wow. When I leave the expedition zone, if you control 1 or more landmarks, each player discards their hand and their reserve, then draws 3 cards. Now, that is one of those abilities that you really have to play around. It is not always going to be good. Anytime that you can give your opponent the same amount of cards that you're going to get, you really want to make sure that you don't have anything in reserve or you don't have any cards in your hand, and maybe they do, so they're just filtering cards while you're actually gaining card advantage. Otherwise, a very, very cool looking foil there. Wow. Love it. What? I was not expecting to actually get a golden pack. Very fun to see one. Apparently, you got to pick the boxes that have the dings in them because, wow, we got a promo and a golden pack, same box. That is about as good as they get, my friends. Whew. Very, very fun. But again, that's why, you know, that's why if you kind of go into, like for me, I'm opening this box with the idea of, you know what? I've got a big stack of cards here. I'm going to have a ton of fun playing with these. And, you know, you get something like that where there's a little bit of value in it. Maybe, I mean, I don't even know. I'll be honest, I can't tell you how great or not great all of those uniques are. But maybe there's some value. You get a little bit of value from unique foilers. And that's just a bonus. Like, it's just kind of a nice feel good as you open it. But I'm not really worried about, wow, did any of those uniques, are any of them worth 20, 30, 40, 50? You know, like, that's not what I want to worry about here with Altered. I just want to have some fun playing it. I think that's the way to go after this game. Kodama, small step, giant leap. And then look at that. Oh my goodness, that is a cool looking card. I was talking about him before. Oh, now that's probably the version of playmat you want to see. Sakara Brew. Wow, he costs 8 to play. Here we go. He's got the 5/3/5 for his stats. Only 3 from reserve, so his play from hand ability, he's got 2 of them. It's got to be big. He is Bravos. And it says, played from hand, if you control 1 or more landmarks, your opponent's expedition facing mine moves backwards 1 reason. Also, play from hand, you can put a card from your hand in the reserve. If you do, you may discard target character with hand cost 3 or less. Wow, that is some power. That is fun. And you know what's interesting? Actually, his first playability is more difficult to get off than the regular common or rare version. In those ones, you don't need to have a landmark to move the opponent's expedition back. But the real excitement here is that not only are you doing that, but you're also putting a card from your hand into reserve, and then you get to discard a target character they have. There's the potential for a lot of movement from this card, a lot happening. He also has the bonus that he costs less to play from reserve. The rare and common versions are 4. Here, he's only going to be 3, so he's going to be coming back that second time without his big abilities, but making some movement on the board. Very cool. Glad to see that one, and definitely that might be my favorite looking one from the whole box. Cool looking, unique. One last pack. Thanks for watching and making it all the way here. Don't leave yet. We're going to take a look and see what the breakdown is for cards in here, and we'll calculate the uniques even without our beautiful golden pack, because it's not going to happen every time. Last card, Armor Jammer. He's cool. I like that. So not counting the golden pack, we got 6 uniques. One of them came as a foil. And you can see our split there. We definitely did not get an even split between the different factions. We have 3 Bravos, 1 Muna, 1 Lyra, and 1 Axiom. So this is something you should take into account if you're thinking about doing a faction box break or a case break. It's not going to be an even split between all the different factions. So it's potential that your faction gets bonus uniques and you get more for a really great price, or it's possible you just don't get any. So if you're the kind of person who's like, man, you know, if I got the faction that had 0 uniques in it, and that would be devastating, probably not a good idea to do the faction box break. Now, my guess is going to be if you do a case break with 6 boxes, distribution is going to be quite a bit more generous for people. But again, there's always that risk. Again, even if you're just opening a box for yourself, you may not be super excited by that spread, but at least if you open on your own, you can trade for things. So it's, you know, no matter how you do it, there's different benefits, risks, and rewards for trying it. This is from the golden pack, and sorry, I said Lyra in the last list of uniques. Actually, what I meant to say was Izmir. You can see there was a lot of Izmir ones in here. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Finally got 1 Ortis unique, but then, check this out. Actually, between this and that other pack, there were 0 Lyra uniques. Very interesting to see kind of how that distribution goes. It looks like it's going to be all over the place. So the rares were much more evenly spread. We got 144 rares in this box, and every faction was between 19 and 25 copies. So a nice even spread here. So again, if you wanted to do a faction break, you may not get the uniques necessarily for your faction. You might get a lot, you might get little, but at least on the rare side, it seems like you're going to get a pretty even split no matter which one you are. Then for foilers, we had 9 commons, 8 rares, and 2 uniques, not counting the 4 bonus ones we got from our gold pack. Then of course, with all these foilers in a break, I'll just randomly distribute them between all the different factions so that everybody gets an equal amount of them. Thanks again for watching. Hope you're having some fun with Altered. We'll see you again in the near future. Peace.